The following non-nominated, non-award-winning program is rated D for dumb.
The following podcast is rated D for dumb. You're listening to Dumbing It Down with Dave, the fastest podcast on earth. Listen to Dave commute to and from work on the New York State Thruway in his 2008 Kia Rio LX. He talks about pragmatism, truth, happiness, and the search for it all. Join Dave as he asks and tells you how life ought to be. And now, here's Dave.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Dumbing It Down with Dave. I am Dave Canyon, your one and only solo podcast host, talking about pragmatism, truth, happiness, and the search for it all. Are you ready? Well, you certainly sound ready. Well, thanks, folks, for tuning in, and thanks for being patient with me during this run of shows. Starting off 2023, we have not put out a show since episode 309, which was February 1, so that would be about 16 days ago. It is February 17th of 2023. I am sitting in my Dodge Caravan in front of my house. This is my studio for the moment, my recording studio. I just got back from the dump. It is Friday, so it is cardboard recycling day. How exciting. Anyway, so I went to the dump. I took care of that. And I came back, and I'm sitting in front of my house, just admiring my property, which I do from time to time. I like to be grateful from when I can, to be grateful for things. I looked around and said, wow, I like my property. And it's there's a couple funny things that have occurred this year, and I'll share that with you. But I was sitting here going, nice property. I like it. Not too bad. I don't mind living here. I don't know if I want to die here, but I don't mind living here. And then I was like looking at the absence of leaves, which is great. That meant I took care of my leaves, during the fall. So, but what's interesting is, well, the funny thing what I mentioned funny is that I did get rid of 99% of the leaves. There's, of course, leaves scattered here and there, but nothing at all tremendous. It's appropriate for this time of year, this, whatever, what's the word? But anyway, there were leaves in the remainder. I don't know, scattered leaves. They blow from all over. I'm in the woods. And I put down these delineators around my driveway. I have like a circular driveway. So I put down these delineators, these posts, they are markers, whatever, reflective markers, whatever you want to call them. They're yellow and they're red. And I guess if I was a good podcast host, I could take a picture of it and I could post it in the Dumbing It Down with Dave Facebook group. If you should be so kind as to stop by the Dumbing It Down with Dave Facebook group. Anyway, so I took care of the leaves. I put down the delineators around the driveway on both sides of the driveway. So this way, if and when it snowed, which it does usually, and it's snowed pretty much every year since I've been here, and I take out my snowblower, I snowblow only the driveway. And I don't go into the grass. I don't go grabbing grass and gravel and all this other stuff. I pretty much keep it in the driveway, which is gravel. And so I was all prepared. I got all the leaves done. I got the delineators in. I don't know how many there are. There's 20 of them all around. I could probably use another 20 for next year. I'll spend a little money. They're like a couple of bucks a piece. At Home Depot, whatever. You can get the fancy ones with the big reflectors, like on your bicycle or something like that. Red reflector, yellow reflector, blue reflector, whatever, green, all these different color reflectors. Or you could just get the posts that kind of look like they're a stick. And so I took care of that. The snowblower, I think I warmed it up months ago. I didn't position it at the end of my garage like I should, because when it snows, you really don't want to be digging through stuff to get to your snowblower. You really want that thing like front and center, ready to go. So when you open up that garage door, you pull that cord, and that thing is ready. It's warmed up. It's full of fuel and oil, and you just take care of the choke and pull that cord or press the button, whatever it is you got going on, and it's ready to go. And it just starts throwing snow. You don't really want to be messing around, as they say. And I was going to say something else, but that's a little bit more vulgar. So I took care of all these things, and the only thing I didn't do was buy a snowmobile. Because if I bought a snowmobile, then I would totally have the secret to preventing snow. Every year, how do I prevent snow from happening? Well, apparently being prepared for snow. Because when I'm not prepared for snow, it snows. which is, what is that, that law? Murphy's Law. So when you're not prepared for things, Murphy's Law finds its way into your life and takes care of things. So here it is. I have no snow. I haven't had snow here almost all year. We had like 1 or 2 moments. And it's easy to forget those moments because the snow events melted pretty quickly, and it hasn't been an issue. So anyway, I decided to do a podcast. I'm sitting here admiring my property. Decided to do a podcast. Episode 310. I have not been doing the 2 a week like I like to do, that I want to do. Maybe. You never know. When will be the moment where I start doing 2 a week? And there's so much to talk about. I think that's part of the problem. There's so much to talk about. I got to pick something, right? But as soon as I pick something, I'm going down the road. There's another thing. If it's not a balloon, it's another balloon. If it's not a balloon, it's a train. If it's not a train, it's a mushroom cloud. If it's not a mushroom cloud, it's things that I see on Facebook or this other app that I go on called Nextdoor, where people are posting about things, and these great conversations, these great points of view are being shared. They're being opposed. They're being, there's so much going on. It's really hard to pick one. So is this show going to be all about how Dave can't decide what to talk about? Well, that's my icebreaker. I'm just letting you know. It's kind of hard. I'm kind of curious. For those of you who are listening on Spreaker, and I want to suggest something to my audience. For those of you who are listening on Spreaker, Spreaker.com, and it's usually the same 5 to 7 people, and I want to tell you real quickly, if I can do this real quickly without screwing things up, I want to tell you how much I appreciate your comments on episode 309. Usually I do a bonus show and I discuss the comments. I haven't done that in a while, but I want to thank Luke Dentler. Thank you very much for commenting on episode 309. Mike Myers from Radio Hope, a show he does every morning, on Spreaker, Radio Hope. Listen to that. Get a little religious message, but not, get hit over the head with it. Every morning, 9 o'clock Eastern time. Linda Irwin definitely made some great comments at episode 309. And who else? Luke did it again. Yeah, so only a few of you. But I know there's a couple of Pats out there. The Pats, they like to comment. And to all my, I don't like to label, but to my liberal friends and my liberal acquaintances and my liberal enemies that don't listen to the show anymore or listen to it but don't comment because they're afraid when they share with me how afraid they are to comment and find that fascinating that you think that anything is going to come of your posts to agree or disagree based on things that I say that may or may not be political. I find it fascinating. I really do try to focus in on pragmatism, truth, happiness, the middle of the road type of approach, because that's how I feel like I live. I don't live to the left. I don't live to the right. I like to walk forward straight towards the truth. So I do miss you guys. The ones that don't, of course, I totally appreciate the ones that do comment, and the ones that don't, I miss them, and I'm also a little bit upset because I know that I comment on everything you guys do because I'm not afraid of your political persuasion. And I know that you guys don't do, and there's more of you than you know, because I know the ones that are listening are going, oh, he must be talking about me. No, there's many of you. I used to have many friends, many acquaintances, many people who I would associate with. There's different levels of relationship. But it's funny, the ones that really can't stand any sort of opposition and don't want to be in the arena of conversation, the arena of ideas, have been afraid to post. And it really hurts my feelings to a certain extent. Do I cry? No, I don't cry. Do I overeat? Well, I always overeat, and I can overeat for any reason. I don't need that to overeat. So all kidding aside, does it bother me? Yes, because we're all in this together. You're a podcaster, I'm a podcaster. You're a human being, I'm a human being. You want to be heard, I want to be heard. And I like the engagement, the social engagement. So it does bother me when people go, no, I'm not commenting. I'm not commenting. To me, it's astounding, and for the various reasons that I've been given, what am I going to say? I have to say, okay, I disagree, but okay, you do you. Right? Ultimately, that's the end of this conversation. You do you, but you're missing out, and I'm missing out, and everybody else is missing out. And I won't let anybody get stomped on in this group. In fact, I posted something on another app having nothing to do with my show. Somebody had posted a comment. So anyway, thank you, everybody. Thank you for engaging with the show. I will try, that's all I can tell you, to do some bonus shows to discuss these comments. I do have a thought in my head that I am going to re-listen to every show, starting with 301, make some notes, and really get back to you in a way that you deserve to get spoken back to. Okay. I think that's a good idea. I'm going to try to do that. I have some family coming up the next couple of days. I got some yard work that's got to be done. Really, I got 2 strong young nephews coming up, and hopefully they're going to help me get some things done. Anyway, that being said, plus I got Daytona 500 this weekend, so whatever. So speaking of commenting, I want to put something out to you guys, the 5 of you, the 7 of you, or the 30 of you. It's so funny when you look at Spreaker and the statistics that they offer me. Again, I should take a screenshot and I should post it in the Dumbing It Down with Dave Facebook group and try to trigger some sort of conversation. When I say trigger, I don't mean like clickbait. Like, what do you guys think? Do you think these numbers are legitimate? I mean, I understand. You can have 30 people listening. You can have 60 people listening. You can have 1,000 people listening. I think there's some sort of number like, if you can get 1% engagement, so if you have 100 people listening, you get 1 letter, 1 comment, you did great. Excuse me. I'm not sure what the number is. I really don't know what the number is, but I've been told different numbers, 10%, 5%, 2%, whatever it is. And yeah, I get it. It's not easy to get everybody to engage. I totally get that. But it does drive the show. It is kind of great. So if I get 5 comments, 7 comments, or let's say I get 30 comments or 20 comments, but they're from 5 or 6, 7 different people, does that validate my numbers? I don't know. I really don't know about these numbers. All that being said, I want to sort of encourage everybody. And I will try to post a link in the show notes and or in the Facebook group. Moving forward, again, I mean, obviously you're invested in this particular episode, but moving forward, or you can go back. You can stop this episode right now and click on the link that's in the, I should have started with that right from the top. But I'm not re-recording this because we're like 12 and a half minutes in and I'm not redoing this. I'm amazed that everything is working as well as I think it's working. I think this is sounding pretty good, this episode. I would like for you, if at all possible, out of the kindness and goodness of your heart, if you could listen to this show for the next umpteen episodes. Umpteen? That's a lot. I don't know. The next 4 episodes. If you could try to listen to it on Goodpods. I know that's kind of risky biscuits. Like, hey, Dave, we've done 309 episodes with you here on Spreaker. 310 now. Why are you sending us to Goodpods? Well, I got a couple of good reasons. Mostly one good reason. One not so good reason is just my curiosity because it's a different listening platform. I will continue to host at least until July, because that's when my contract is up, July 23rd, I think it is. I will continue to host my show on Spreaker. That is not a problem. But I'm curious as far as listening to the show to see what it's like when you listen on Goodpods. That's just curiosity. Goodpods is a totally different environment than Spreaker. Listening platform, yes. But the way it's structured, the way it's built, and all things like that, if you're not already on, registered with Goodpods, I can't tell you if the process is easy or difficult. I assume it's easy. You don't have to pay for anything. It's just like Spreaker. You don't have to pay. But the good reason that I like the idea of you listening on Goodpods is because, like Spreaker, they do have a chat function where as you're listening, you can type and you can text and you can respond. But here's the difference. And another thing I wish, if I was a good podcaster, if I was a good human being, whatever the words are, I would do this. I should have done it already. Why I haven't done it, I don't know. But what's different about Goodpods is that if you write something, Dear Dave, Here I am on Goodpods. Good show. I can directly comment to that comment. I don't, like in Spreaker, as you notice, if I comment, it's out of order. Like if Luke is the first 3 comments, then Linda's the next 3, and then Mike Myers is the next 3. There's 9 comments that have gone by, and then I finally get in there and respond, which is the reason why I don't respond to anybody's comments for the most part. I have done in the past. It all depends. Sometimes I know you're there at the same exact time I am. So I've done that maybe once or twice in 310 episodes. But what's good about Goodpods is that I can directly comment. I can reply directly to your comment. And I don't know if people can directly reply to my reply. I don't know. But I would like to see what this type of engagement, this relationship that we have, what does that look like on Goodpods? And also, if you listen to any other podcasts and you listen to them on Goodpods, I'm kind of curious because Goodpods is all about, hey, your friends that listen to your show, they're also listening to this show. So it's not so much an invasion of privacy as it is, because I can see how people are saying, wait a minute, I don't care for you to know what I listen to. But I don't know if they mention you by name, but they'll say your friends and whatever. It's kind of like Netflix or Amazon, right? Or something like that. If you listen to this, you might listen to like this. Or if you watch this, or if you buy this, you might want to buy that. Again, I don't really know what it's like on Goodpods. But if at all possible, I will do my very best to post the information and register if you can. I'm sure it's really easy. If I'm on Goodpods, you could be on Goodpods. It's not that hard. And I just am curious how that works. And I really appreciate you taking the time to listen to this, podcast about nothing so far, because all I'm doing is spending time not talking about a crucial issue, right? It's all about listening on Goodpods instead of Spreaker. So how many episodes? I don't know. 4, 2, 6? I don't know. I want to just see what that's like. I don't think I can host my show on Goodpods. It's not that type of platform. So I am kind of curious, by the way. I'm curious how any of these platforms make any money at all. There's like at least 30 different platforms, which, by the way, if you remember, episode 301, 302, one of those earlier episodes, I challenged you guys to find me a platform I'm not on. Nobody responded. I didn't get one response. Nobody said, hey, you're not on this platform, so I have things to give away. I have Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse keychains. I know that doesn't seem like a lot, but I have a couple of thousand of them left over from my father's former life. And I'd like to incentivize people to engage with the show by offering up a keychain or two. That's all I have, folks. And I'll pay for the shipping, of course, which is, not, is it worth it to me? I don't know. I was going to say it's not worth it, but whatever. It's a good quality keychain. Believe me, once my father got done with these things, they're pretty good quality. And he used to make quite a buck selling them. Anyway, so, I'm curious what platform that I'll still do. In fact, I should really make that part of my Patreon, if and when I ever decide to do that. But I am kind of curious if there's a platform that that I'm not on. So the reason why I'm suggesting Goodpods is those two reasons. Mostly, curiosity, but mostly because of the reply factor, that you can directly reply. And then I'm kind of curious if you mill about the Goodpods platform and you listen to other podcasts on that platform, how does it interact with me and you and everybody? I don't know. I don't know if Goodpods is a popular platform. I have actually spoken to 1 or 2 people that have been there and have done this and have done that or whatever. I can't even remember what they told me. But I know ultimately it's Spotify is the big deal. And I don't even understand that, by the way. I don't understand the whole thing about Spotify. I just don't get it. Because I know they came out of nowhere. They weren't, and then they were. They weren't a thing, then they became a thing. Next thing you know, I'm looking all over the internet. Oh, this person's listening to this on Spotify. Everybody's clicking around with Spotify. I'm like, I don't understand why you're not on Spreaker. But I will tell you this. I have met in the last month or so month and a half, 2 months, I'll guess anywhere between 10 to 20 different podcasters, and only one of them is actually on Spreaker. Only one of them. And she hosts her shows on Spreaker, as far as I know. She has multiple shows. She owns a network. So, but everybody else, totally Podbean, very big. I don't know if people host a lot of their shows there, but they are on there. And so that's a listening app as well. I think it's also that's one of the apps I'm considering going to host my show. And part of the problem with Spreaker is they want you to pay a minimum amount, as if you were going to host your show. So you can't just be on Spreaker for nothing. And I did start a dialogue with Spreaker, hey, how come I know 20 people that have podcasts and I can't find any of them on Spreaker? So they wrote me back and they posted their letter. So a normal person would reply back, go, really? Don't you find that somewhat, limiting considering all these other platforms? They let you, for nothing, have your show on their platform, like Podbean, like, I don't know, just name. There's 20, 30 of them. This cast, that cast. I know, because I'm on them. Geo Savan from India. There's so many. It's ridiculous. Libsyn. No, I don't think I'm on Libsyn. Libsyn isn't an app. Libsyn is not an app. So, but I'm on Apple. I'm on Stitcher. I'm on Stitcher. I don't pay to be on Stitcher. So I know this is kind of a podcast-oriented podcast, this episode, but it's still, I'm trying to bring it back to the human factor. I always do that. When I talk about politics, sports, culture, whatever I'm talking about, I try to bring it back to the human aspect. And in this particular case, the human aspect of it all is I want to connect with you. I like connecting with you. I don't see you people. I don't know most of you people. And I want to know why I have supposedly, according to Spreaker, X amount of listeners, but only X amount of commenters. Because most people don't like to engage. And I don't do a lot of my shows aren't political. This show really hasn't been political. So those who are afraid, and I got to tell you, I'm going to say it, some of my non-Dave agreeing, which is another way of saying non-conservative, non-Republican friends who are afraid to engage, what was my point? That they should be engaging in this show, right? If I do a show and I don't mention Trump or MAGA or Republicans, you think, I'm right there. I'm listening. I look at the show notes. I see what you wrote, and I go, oh yeah, this is a show I can get involved with, because I know it's not going to be political, which is really one of the big things that angers me about those who stop listening to me, especially the one who told me and this is in quotes, your Trump stuff scares me off. Close quote. An adult, after 50 years of friendship, your Trump stuff scares me off. I don't know. I guess he runs into the woods. He crawls into a fetal position and he, cries. He wets himself. I don't know what he does. But you all know, for those who listen on a regular basis, how many shows have I done that have been totally non-political? It's all been my mother and my father or my sister. And there's a lot to talk about there, but I haven't gotten to it. Part of it is I'm tired of talking about it too, but it is interesting to some of you because it is the human aspect of it all. So yeah, the human aspect of this show is I'd like to engage with you. I'd like you to engage with me. I'm curious moving forward how to do a podcast with humanity in mind, with the human aspect in mind, not veering to the left, not veering to the right, walking down the middle towards the truth. I'm curious what is in your interest. And a lot of you have been interested in my family exploits, probably because most of you, if not all of you, have family. And I'm always surprised when somebody tells me of a similar situation that I'm experiencing, because it's as sad as it is, I'm often quite satisfied, elated. I was going to use the word elated, which now I have used it. The word happy, that I'm not the only one, that there are other sons, brothers that have horrible experiences with their sisters and mothers and fathers and neighbors and friends. And it's not always because of political reasons. It's for various reasons, which I find sadly rewarding, or not rewarding, but I'm saying, oh, good. It's not just me. You can really have a complex. If you'll let yourself, you can really have a complex and say, oh, it must be me. Because I've had that conversation many times with my wife, my therapist, and any of the friends that I've spoken to. I really, more often than not, feel it's me. There's something about me. And I mean, the other day, I was saying, how come I don't get these emails returned? It must be me. How come people don't return my phone calls? It must be me. How come people don't at all involve themselves with my hobbies like podcasting, YouTubing, when I'm all over theirs? I'm all over theirs. Must be me. In that particular respect, it's a lot of them. I don't understand that. I feel it's really ungrateful, but I've gone down this road before. I'm not going to do it. I'm trying to be more intentional in 2023. I'm trying to be more positive, more grateful, really trying to turn things around in every aspect of my life, including my blood pressure, which I cannot confirm nor deny it's any lower than it was a couple of weeks ago. So we have about 4 minutes left. It's not the end of the show where I start reeling off all these email addresses. You know what they are. dumbingitdownwithdave@yahoo.com. But, most people don't email me. I've gotten only 2 or 3 emails in 7 years. The Facebook groups are really where it's at right now. For now, Dumbing It Down with Dave at Facebook, and then Dave's Fit Life at Facebook. Here in the Spreaker chat, unless you've already moved over to Goodpods for the second half of the episode. And I don't know what I'm going to title the show. Listen to me on Goodpods. Try Goodpods. I don't know what I'm going to do. I wish I could edit the show because I would just go in at the beginning and say, hey, folks, you're about to listen to 30 minutes of this and that. But before you do, here's a link. It's in the show notes. Just go to Goodpods and register and look for Dumbing It Down with Dave on Goodpods. But yeah, I'll remind you, if I remember especially, I am curious what that environment is like. So I've talked about my friends, my acquaintances. I talked about how to get in touch with me. Of course, Twitter at Dumb with Dave. It's on my list of like 45 things. I got this list I've been drawing up. One of the things I want to get a Google voicemail back again. Maybe I'll do that when I stop this episode and go inside. I already did the dishes. The house is pretty clean. I want to tidy up a little bit. I did buy a brand new to me, but new used 2015 27-inch iMac. And I was trying to do an episode at my desk where the iMac is sitting. I have this desk that I inherited from my wife when she studied her master's. I had an issue with the Spreaker recording app with my AirPods, my iPhone AirPods, whatever you want to call them. And also there's an echo in that room. It's horrible. That bouncing off the wall sound. So one of the things I got to put on the list other than Google Voice is I got to find out how to deaden the sound. I got to find out about putting up these like PVC posts or something. And, or I could just put a blanket on my head. I'm not going to stand there with a blanket on my head. I got to be a little bit. I've heard of that happening. I know people have done shows in their closets. I don't have a closet big enough. I know Dee Snider from Twisted Sister used to wear something, and I've seen it on sale at Amazon. He wears this big hood, this big hat hood or something. He looks like one of the characters from Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids. It's like a skiing mask or something. It's hot in there. I don't want to wear that, but it's great for sound. I think it's also great for taking naps. I'm not sure if it's the same thing. But if I was a good podcaster, I'd have those links ready to share in the Dumbing It Down with Dave Facebook group, and you could see what I'm talking about. But these things do exist to help you with your sound. And there is a thing you can wear in your head to help you with naps and sleeping. So anyway, so I hope you liked the old classic intro that I did. I was doing the song. Maybe I'll go out with the song, maybe. But what's this? Let me see. What happens if I press this?
If you are enjoying these shows, please like and subscribe. Also, share them with your social media. Feel free to comment in the Spreaker chat box or call the dumb line at 347-746-3.
All right, I had to stop that because that's not the number. So anyway, so there you go. That's the show, folks. February 17th, 2023. If there's anything I missed or anything I overlooked, please engage with me. I'd love to hear from you. I hope you're having a great new year, 2023. And I'm doing the best I can to move forward with 2 episodes a week and all the other things I've been talking about and promising you for the longest time. Nobody wants it more than me. All right? So stay in touch. All right, guys? So a little of the new outro. Ba 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 da ba ba da ba 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 da ba 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 da ba ba da ba 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 da ba 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 ba.